All right, guys. Good morning, everyone. I hope that you are all having a good day so far, and I hope that this video is helpful to you in order to complete the lesson 11-9. So the assignment that this will work for is 11-9. There's a lesson online onto Google Classroom. It just does not go as in depth as this is. And so I wanted to post this for both students and parents. So feel free to let your kids see this, or if you would rather teach them, however you want to do it, this is what this is for. So I went ahead and broke up each part of the assignment by what the directions are telling you to do on it. And also I have my phone balancing and taped to a cup. So if at any point I get off the screen, I am so sorry. But the students learned yesterday how to do this part, which is write each quotient as a fraction, but they did not learn how to do the mixed number part yet. So if you were to ask your kids to tell me what 3 divided by 10 looked like as a fraction, they should be able to tell you that 3 divided by 10, written as a fraction, is 3/10. Okay? So the same way with 13 divided by 15. The students are now able to recognize that 13 divided by 15 is the same thing as 13 over 15. So any of the ones where the fraction is, the dividend is smaller than the divisor, the fraction will look like this, and that is how they will write it. Now, the students have yet to learn how to write these problems, these division expressions, as mixed numbers. So the first thing that they would need to do is still put it as 19 fifths. All right. Now, if you tell your child that they need to identify what kind of fraction this is, they should be able to tell you that this is an improper fraction. If you ask them to change this improper fraction into a mixed number, they should also be able to do that. If for some reason they have forgotten, please tell them that it is the numerator divided by the denominator. They should have, if they follow directions, grabbed their notes from our last part of topic 1 that showed them how to divide it and which is the whole number, numerator, and denominator when doing a mixed number. So my numerator goes inside my house, and my denominator goes outside my house. 5 cannot go into 1, so we leave that blank. 5 can go into 19 3 times. 19 minus 15 is 4. So when we get to this point, my whole number is the 3. My numerator is the 4. And my 5 is my denominator. These students just spent a long time doing this entire thing with the improper fraction and changing it into a mixed number. So they should be able to do that just fine. So my final answer into changing 19 divided by 5 into a mixed number is 3 4 fifths. So the part of the question that might confuse them is a fraction or a mixed number. It's one or the other, and obviously the only way that you can decide that is if you have a smaller number first and then the bigger number, which would give you 3/10, or if you have the bigger number first and then the smaller number, which then you would have to do a mixed number. All right, so in order to do this one, it would be the same thing again. I would write my improper fraction. Oh, I was looking at the one above it, 6. And then I will have to divide. So 75 in my house and 6 outside my house. 6 can go into 7, and I'm going to change colors. 6 can go into 7 one time. 6 can go into 15 twice. And then you have 3 left over. So once again, my whole number, my numerator, and my denominator. The students will probably be able to recognize that this would be 1/2. Just for today, just go ahead and leave it. If they really want to simplify it, by all means, let them simplify it. It is not required today, but it's whatever. If they want to take the steps to simplify it, that is completely fine. They have notes. If they've forgotten how to simplify, they should know how to simplify at this point. But I sent notes with them just in case. So our answer would be 12 3/6. So that is how to do the first few questions on that top portion. This down here, write each quotient as a decimal. So it is the exact same process almost. So we have 3 divided by 12 on my 3 would go inside my house. Okay, and my 12 would go outside my house in order to create a decimal. So 12 cannot go into 3. We know that. And I'm going to change colors. So in this situation, I would put a 0. And I also need to add that the students know how to divide decimals. We did an entire topic on this. They obviously forget. We have not divided decimals in a couple months, so they might need a little refresher on this, but if you show them this video, they should be just fine. So 12 cannot go into 3, so we add our decimal and go ahead and bring it straight up and add a 0. If they do not add that decimal, the answer will be wrong. So my next question, how many times can 12 go into 30? So 12 can go into 30 twice. Okay, so 30 minus 24 is 6. And I need to keep going with this in order to get to 0 to find out what my full decimal is. And I don't need to add another decimal because I already added the 1. So 12 can go into 60 5 times. And so my answer is 25 hundredths. If the students do not know their math facts like they need to at this point, they're going to have to do what I call trial and error. And if you say that, your kids will know what to do on if they have to try different numbers to see what goes into what. And they know exactly how to do that. So that is the answer to this one. I'm going to go ahead and change colors back. I probably should have given myself a little bit more room, but space-wise to fit in the camera. All right, so the same thing again. My 5 goes inside my house, my 20 on the outside. 20 cannot go into 5. So I need to add a 0. 20 can go into 50 twice. And that is 40. And 10, I need to add a 0. 20 can go into 100 5 times. So my answer is 0. So both of those answers equaled 25 hundredths. So now if we go onto this one, it's going to be a little bit different. 18 divided by 5. Since 18 is my first one, it is going to go into my house, and the kids sometimes have just a little bit of trouble paying attention. Well, they're, with this one, they may have confused them a little bit more, but they should know 18, it's my first number, it should go inside my house. And that is going to make a big difference with our answer on this one. So 5 can go into 18 3 times. So that equals 3. I need to go ahead and add my decimal because I did not equal up with 0. So add that. 5 can go into 30 6 times. So my answer is 3 6/10. So that is just going to be the difference on if I have a whole number or if I just have a decimal. But the students, once again, they have done dividing decimals already. And they did very well with it. So they should know how to do this. And then let's do 86, which would go inside my house because it's the first one. 4 can go into 8 twice. That equals 0. And sometimes the kids struggle. You may notice that when they get a 0, that they think that they're done every once in a while. But you have to have something above all these other numbers. You cannot just leave it blank. So we need to go ahead and bring down our 6. 4 can go into 6 one time. That gives us a 2. We need to add another 0 and, a decimal. Starting to run out of room here. 4 can go into 20 5 times, and then I'm just going to move this over here so I don't mess this up. 20 minus 20 is 0. Okay, so my answer is 20 and 5/10. All right, so when we get down to this point, this is the exact same thing that we did up here, except it's just wanting you to give the answer to both of them. So I did not do as many examples. The students, sometimes if they see a fraction or a decimal, a fraction or a mixed number and a decimal, sometimes they'll only do one. So you'll have to tell them, you need to do both of these. They sometimes just look at it and just don't see it, even when they're told it sometimes. So 21 divided by 4, the exact same thing, and they can refer back up here if they need to how to write this as a fraction or a mixed number. Since my bigger number is first, it's going to be a mixed number. So I'm going to do 21 divided by 4. Okay, 4 can go into, it can't go into 2, but it can go into 21 5 times. And that is going to give me the answer of my 1 for my remainder, which in order to write my mixed number, it is going to be 5 as my whole number, my remainder is my numerator, and my denominator is 4. So my mixed number is 5 1/4. I'm going to do the exact same process over again to find the decimal format. So 4, same thing once again. Can go into it 5 times. That gives me 20. And instead, that's going to give me the remainder of 1. Instead of just leaving it like that, I'm going to add a 0. Bring it down. 4 can go into 10. And don't forget to bring that up twice. That's going to give me a 2. 4 can go into 20 5 times. So that gives me my answer for both fraction or mixed number. In this case, it was mixed number. And then for my decimal answer of 5 25/100. So that gives me both of them. It's the exact same process. On this last one, it's a little bit easier because my smaller number is first. I'm just going to do a fraction, so I don't need to divide anything, just like I did up here. It is going to be 6/12. Once again, your child probably can look at this and say that this is the fraction of 1/2. They can change it to 1/2 if they want. I do not have a preference on it today. I just want them to be able to recognize that 6 divided by 12 is the same thing as a fraction. So, or vice versa. So if they want to simplify, go ahead and let them. So my fraction format for this is 6/12, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did over here. 6 is going to go in my house though because it is the first number. 12 is going to go on the outside. 12 cannot go into 6, so I need to go ahead and add a decimal and a 0. 12 can go into 60 5 times. And there are my 2 answers. So, if you have any questions at all on this lesson, please let me know. I am sorry that it is quite so long, but I hope you do take the time to watch it and are able to help your kids. If you need help, contact me anytime, and please do not hesitate to contact me. This is exactly what I'm here for. So thanks so much, and I hope you guys have a great day. Also, please have your child do Spiral Review Q for quarter 1.5. And that is all the math that they have for today. They have some science, and then they have some ELA stuff, but that is all they have today for math. Thanks so much, guys.